Let's have a look for the draft, though. Crest is gone for INTZ.
They love banning out Crush.
Yeah, a regional favourite. I remember Sui from last season getting extraordinarily upset because he was sitting here trying to analyze the draft and they kept banning Crashed. And he's a good engaged character. He is a good, solid character. He doesn't really merit a ban, though.
It feels like one of those habit things, and when we're casting other regions and we see the same bans over and over again, we're like, yeah, sure, fine, he's a strong hero. This is apparently the accepted strongest hero in Latin America, and it's funny to see you kind of from the outside looking in.
But there are so many other definitely stronger heroes that are getting consistently banned. This is wasting one of those bans, isn't it?
Well,
they think he's the strongest.
Richter getting banned loads. He's been banned out here, okay. Florentino again, Elsu again. Quillen got banned out a lot in week 1.
Right, like when we see, for instance, Annette being banned out constantly in Europe and NA, we don't question it.
Sure.
So I think the same thing goes for Latin America. They're like, of course you ban out Crush.
Isn't Annette, though, kind of high up on a certain...
Anyway.
Spoilers.
On a certain tier list based...
No, I was not talking about tier list.
Oh, really?
No,
okay. Nacroth will come through as the first pick for INTZ, top of their tier list, apparently. Now, the esports opposing them do have Alice and Omen for the split lane and support role, respectively.
Alice, an interesting pick here, not going for the Annette, although Alice has been rising up in power lately just because of that amazing ability to zoom across the map with Ring of the Fiend. But speaking of which, Annette picked up here by INTZ instead.
She arrives, the wind god herself. I think she's like a student or something, actually.
The wind student.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound as imposing.
Nope. Liliana.
Student and God are some way apart, I think.
A little bit.
Yes. But Liliana comes through as well. We'll keep it moving.
Again.
As Nova Esports repeat their somewhat questionable strategy, the strategy we questioned at the very least, and roll out an Illumia.
If you're gonna pick Illumia, at least pick Baldum. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You have the natural synergy there. Baldum's just the best. Come on.
But I guess they're not expecting INTZ to take Baldum.
Well, they already have Alice, so I doubt that's gonna come out here.
Yeah, and their opponents already have Annette.
All right.
It's disappointing. On a personal level.
But on a tactical level, this is a good roster. The Violet, Illumia. The Illumia is kind of the only questionable pick. The Zaniel coming through as the last one actually gives them a fairly beefy front line. They have the Alice to combo decently with the Illumia. I like the Nova roster. I just kind of like INTZ a little bit more.
By the way, I just noticed this. Illumia was picked by Nova.
Yes.
Not INTZ. INTZ was the team who surprised us with Illumia last time. Illumia has been played in Thailand, most notably by Memarks. He of the near AWC champion Thailand team. So it's confusing to me.
By near AWC champion, you mean runners-up?
Yeah, they were one game away. Anyway.
Losers don't get to set the meta. I don't believe in the Illumia, and I don't think I ever will. She's too slow, she doesn't have any mobility, and there are simply other mages that do it better.
That's the line, isn't it?
Why would you run an Illumia when you can run an Natalia?
That's a good question. I'm going to ask my analysts. Why would you run an Illumia when you could run an Natalia?
That's a
TJ.
really interesting question.
Thanks.
And I don't know why.
Useless.
Because the global presence of the Illumia is rarely useful for a global fight. You only actually want that ult to go off when your enemy is clustered and likely in front of you where you can follow up. So the Cataclysm ultimate doesn't actually mean that much unless you're grouped up. And if you want a powerful teamfight ultimate, hey, I've got something for you. It's called Natalia, and she's got lethal race.
Illumia, it seems like people are a little bit too in love with Cataclysm. And
it's really fun.
It's something that no one else can do in the game. No other mage, no other hero can have that global presence.
Is Illumia going to be the difference for Nova? Well, let's find out as they take on INTZ. First game of their best of 2.
I believe it was Chevy who were trying to launch a car in Mexico, and they found out that Nova meant no-go. And they didn't really want to launch their car with that brand. We'll have to see if this Illumia is a no-go for Nova here.
Hopefully for their sake it works out. SA overall looks like he wants those damage stats that Moutinho had in the last series. This is an interesting matchup in top though. The Omen versus the Roxy. Roxy typically was the Omen counter. You couldn't really get any ground on her, but her health stats have been nerfed, but her tactical abilities have been buffed. We'll see how that works out.
Mid lane fusion, MixerJ all come through alongside Mudinho, and they burn down the low mobility Illumia. She can't retreat through the Gust Force.
Looks like that was maybe a mixed opportunity there if Mudinho had stuck by and had faith in the zoning potential of MixRJ. I'm loving the aggression coming out from MixRJ here.
It should be noted, SA overall had nerves of steel. Did not spend the flicker. Oh, that was a good win cuffs. No mercies caught out. MixerJ gets first blood on the Annette.
That was so beautiful, and you're seeing why they preferred going for that Necrothi, because he can jump in at a moment's notice and finish him off.
That's at least a wind graduate. Padaria will try and leverage that for a little bit extra pressure up top.
She's up in graduate school, is that?
Yeah, getting the doctorate.
It's a very nice wind cuffs. I'll give her that.
It was sick. And they're grouping up to try it again. The wind cuffs will go wide, but that's a 3-man knock-up. There's the follow-through. MixerJ gets second blood as well.
That was beautiful. Myth coming in. I have never seen a knock-up that amazing from an Necroth on 3 there. And I'm not speaking in hyperbole because, oh my goodness.
INTZ one more. They'll get this Abyssal. This is a really good start.
It absolutely is. They are taking it to Nova, the supposed champs of the region. INTZ says last week, and indeed the qualifiers are not a fluke. They are here to play.
Sir Muster absolutely conquering these fights, and they swapped him out. This is a new roster, absolutely destroying him in lane.
The Roxy is just giving him so many issues. He is not able to even contest here, and now here comes the rotation.
Yeah, the full roster will come through. That was a nice use of Death's Beckon. He'll follow through with the Death's Embrace and has the Angelic Splendor from 0-8 to 0-8. That was actually sick!
That is actually so funny. Both sides were trying to go for the aggressive play, one for the Death's Embrace and one for the Wind Hurricane Wall. Excuse me. Myth just taking one out while I can't even get an word in edgewise.
Yeah, I say overall, again, a victim of Illumia's slower mobility. I'll say it again, if you're gonna run a low mobility character, I can think of many other mages that would do better in the role.
And it's not like they picked Illumia after, or before, excuse me, the Necroth was picked. It was picked before, and if anyone's gonna be able to shake off the Banish, her second ability that pushes people away, and get in anyway, it's gonna be Myth.
He will go in, scare back, no mercy. Wind cuffs again from MixerJ as Mudinho dives the back line. MixerJ's been on point.
He absolutely has, with all of those wind cuffs, with all of those gust forces, making life so miserable, and so is the rest of the team.
Gust Force again to slow down the retreat. No Mercy will need to do exactly that, as INTZ threaten that bottom tower again.
If I had to pick a team to surprise us and start dominating, it would have been Nova, not the other way around, not the way INTZ has played this so far.
They've been absolutely terrifying, but they have only taken one tower, or threatened one tower in the mid, and they haven't really gotten too much aside from a gold lead.
Right, they need to convert that gold into towers, or else Nova has an avenue back into this game.
And that avenue is still open. It's a street, not really an alleyway.
These weird streets in the UK, I'm not quite used to them.
They're all narrow.
Yeah.
Just like Nova's chances to get back into this game.
They have an okay chance, not so narrow. Thought to play better though.
MixerJ will try and steal away a golem here, and they're bullied off of it. No Mercy and Shaka coming through to ensure that it happens. However, this Abyssal Dragon is up for grabs, and INTZ still have control of the area.
INTZ is in such a good lead now that they don't really need to take this Abyssal Dragon. It looks like they might give it up.
Yeah, they've completely ceded it. What are they doing with the time, though?
Right.
They were trying to press towards mid. That didn't work out. Now they double back towards the Abyssal, and it's too late.
There comes the Cataclysm. They didn't do a whole lot, like you said. I can understand giving it up, but you have to do something with your time, maybe like this.
Maybe find the kills down bottom. No Mercy will fall. There's the Angelic Splendor. 0-8 dives back in, and Myth holds strong, scaring 0-8 back. They've chucked him very low, and Mudinho will get the kill. Shaka, you lingered too long. Myth's got another, and this tower should fall.
That was amazing mechanics by Mudinho. Goes in, jumps out with the unpredictable, and allows that explosion damage to take them out. Not often do you see that combo out. The opposite combo coming from the Fox form first.
Another tower down as well. That much burst damage on the tower is intimidating.
TJ, you asked for tower damage, and they're getting it right now, and all SA overall can do is just throw out a little bit of an orb and hope that it lands. It's not really going to, though.
No, and that is perhaps another downside. Very little zoning from Illumia.
You can get that banished, but that's about it. You can get people off of you,
But not off of your towers.
not so much.
As Nova Esports are now bullied out of their jungle. They've lost 2 towers down bottom. What is their path back into the game? What should they be focusing on?
Play for the extreme late game. You have the Xenial who can do that. You have the Illumia whose Cataclysm will get stronger and stronger. You can see that SA overall is starting to build lots of CDR so they can get the Cataclysms as often as possible.
And should the Cataclysms be constant, that's going to be pretty constant. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Mixer J drops his second new mixtape. Absolutely blows up the defenders with a hurricane wall, and Myth is there to pick them both up.
That was such amazing play there from Myth on the Croth. We finally do see some value come out of a Cataclysm, but it's just not enough.
No! The Cataclysm stunned them up when they were already under the tower, but the kills had already been found.
Yeah, they were all dead around them. And it's like, oh, I damaged them for you guys. Guys?
And that's really the problem with Cataclysm. Sure, maybe it's doing damage towards late game. Early game, though, it's just useful for the stun. If you don't have follow-up because your teammates are all dead, you don't get much from it.
Now, INTZ is running into the problem of being too far ahead and not having anything to do right now.
What a terrible problem, Daniel. How will they ever deal with this?
Well, just have to wait for the Darkslayer to go up, or just force their way into this tower right now.
They'll do that. Brute forcing their way through. Cataclysm zones again. Tower does fall.
It kind of zones. It zones them out of the places they were standing, but they didn't want to stand there anyway. They wanted to take the tower, DJ.
And that's why, again, you should have just run Natalia.
Talia can kill. So that is certainly true.
Oh, the Agnes Grasp. The Angelic Splendor will come through. Sir Master does have backup. He's been the most farmed member of Nova. Maybe this can be a turnaround as the Death Embrace is there, but Padaria is able to get free. In the meantime, the flank comes through. Myth and Mixer J will Hurricane Wall and dash with the Death Sentence over the wall, and all the while, Fusion is reacting, pushing down mid. He'll take a tower for free.
And Nova is starting to look like Cream from before. They're reacting to their opponents rather than going and being aggressive themselves.
Padaria is just stalling out. Again, the power of the Roxy is kind of a split lane stall, a distraction.
Yes, they've been absolutely ridiculous. For the second time today, Padaria making good use of it as well. Myth's going to be able to solo this Darkslayer, and that gives so much room on the rest of the map.
I'd like to point out this Roxy is running Leviathan. We've seen very few sideline Leviathans for something that used to be so core to the meta, but Roxys consistently are running them.
Right, and that allows you to do things like this. You do want that burn damage. That is one of the ways you can apply it to your opponent. She is going for the Soaring Aura as well. Lots of burn coming out from, lots of incidental damage coming out from this Roxy.
The Drake has been summoned and a tower has been taken. There was a response. Sir Muster did grab one tower in response down in the bot lane. The rest of INTZ want to leverage this Drake though and take out the tower. They've got Sir Muster annihilated. The Cataclysm does land well. Not bad at all. Unfortunately, that's all they'll get.
Oh, they're still getting damage though.
No kills. INTZ simply rotate across the map. They'll press out towards mid while bullying the rest of the team off of that tower, leaving only the high grounds in the middle, bottom, and top lane.
If INTZ continue to group up like that, though, perhaps SA overall can finally get some value. He really chunked them down for the first time this game.
But that's kind of a conditional, and there's not really a whole lot. Maybe the Annette passive. That's the only reason I can think for them to be that grouped up.
Yeah, and grouped up and not moving enough for them to get stuck in that. I suppose what you can do is go for the Hissy Fit combined with the Frosty's Revenge, and then go for the Cataclysm, but I'm looking at Alice's build, and it has no Frosty's Revenge.
Yeah, so there won't be a slow for that Hissy Fit, making it very difficult to pin people down with it, or find the combo of the magic damage increase it offers.
And that makes it so much harder to do, and it's problematic for Nova as they're falling further and further behind. No contest on the Enraged Abyssal.
Get picked up despite the Dark Slayer curse, making it more difficult to do so. Now INTZ have that Enraged Abyssal buff. Did anyone pick up Dark Blessing? Oh yeah, Myth did.
Gotta have someone pick that up. Well, Myth is going to be, you put that to great use, makes it so much harder to kill him, and that's one of the ways you punish a Necroth. He's so squishy you can take him out, but a lot harder when he has that Dark Blessing to his side. Fusion is just on a split-pushing mission, I suppose. Not the best split-pushing hero, but I guess if your Joker can handle anyone coming towards you, go for it.
Yeah, Joker's pretty slippery in a 1v1, which means anyone sent to deal with him would be trouble. He's picked up the wave. They've got all three lanes crashing. And Fusion's there for the follow-through. That Gust Force was lethal. Mixer J again earning his pay. They'll go in for a second time. 0-8 should fall. Medinho picks him up. They've already lost SA overall. And the rest of Nova are huddled back behind their core. Shaka's chucked by a Riki shot. Myth will go through. He'll find a double kill as Surbuster's slaughtered as well. They've got wave, they've got the core, and they've got game 1 to INTZ over the regional champions.
A massive surprise coming out from INTZ, who were able to dominate from start to finish the champions in Nova Esports. That is Nova's first loss across 2 regions.